Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Scarab. So the Scarab is a Class C battlecruiser, and that just means that it is a late game combat ship. So we have full Class C engines, shields, reactor. We were able to get away with a Class B grav drive. But it is a full-on combat ship that I started building because I wanted to build another ship that made use of the Cabot Bridge, but I wanted it back set. So more kind of in the middle of the ship or more towards the rear of it rather than being right up front. Um, After going ahead and starting there, I fiddled around a little bit until I got a layout that I liked. So let's go ahead and take a look and we'll see how the ship works out. So first things first, you will see that I have some cargo um, modules on the side. You can walk under these without hitting your head, but it will park the buggy off to the side, and you've got this nice shaded entry area. Right now, I am making use of the um, Tayo front-loading lander. Originally, I had used the um, what's it called? The Deimos lander, but I decided that I really wanted to have this one central area where I have the landing access and the docking bridge access. So I decided to go ahead and swap the lander out and put a companionway right here. So that way I have this one central access point for the entire ship, rather than putting my docker on the very top, which is where the captain's quarters is. So going up one level, you can see that we enter into the rear of the Nova Armory. There's no strong reason to use the Nova Armory over another one. I just wanted to spice things up a little bit. Continuing on this floor, I can walk through this door, and I enter into a 2x1 Deimos all-in-one. You could use Stroud here instead, but if you were to use Hope Tech or Tayo, we would be losing all of the beds with the location of these doors. This one, though, would be perfect for using a Tayo 2x1 all in one if you wanted to use that instead. But I just went with all Deimos because it was at the top of the list. Moving forward, I have a third Deimos 2x1 all in one right here. Again, this one could be any one that you wanted. And then off to the side here, I have the Deimos 3x1 living quarters. So effectively, this is the sleeping side of the ship. And we've got a total of 14 beds over here. Moving on to the other side of the ship, we open into a nice little 1x1 companionway. And then to the rear here, we have a 2x1 infirmary. This one is again Deimos. And then moving forward, we have the 3x2 Nova Mess Hall. Again, this is one of my favorite habs just because it feels like such a livable space and a place for the crew to hang out instead of just sit and eat. Moving back here to the ladder, this is the one central ladder for the entire ship. I can hop up again, and I find myself now in a Nova 2x2 battle stations. Again, you could use any battle stations you wanted. I just felt like grabbing Nova for this. Then over on this side, I have the Deimos 2x1 computer core. Man, just built this ship and they already need to fix it. Such a shame. Of note, other computer cores are available. However, the Deimos computer core is the only one that looks like this. So that's part of the reason why I chose that. Then we've got the access to the Cabot Bridge right here, where we can look over the entire ship. And then finally, right back here, we have access to the captain's quarters. So the captain can be right there by the bridge when he needs to be. That being said, we really need to move this couch. Man. And that is the tour of the ship. So, let's go ahead, take a look at its stats, and see how to build it. So, as a reminder, I am using a series of mods right now. The important ones are the better ship flips, better ship snaps, place doors yourself, and then there's some other ones that are required for the better ship part flips and snaps mods. So the kind of key points here is if I were to have the base game here, the engines would be offset either up or down. I could not have this side section here as it is. And then you will also notice that I have the Deimos belly here that has been flipped. So these are all things that, while you could get a similar-ish ship, if you were to go ahead and try building this without those mods, you could not get the same appearance. So, enough about that. Let's go ahead and hop into the builder. So step one is, of course, going to be going ahead and getting our colors in our palette. I went with kind of a muted green, and then a greenish yellow, again muted, and then kind of a gray or light black color for the third. I just thought that would give it a interesting appearance. All right. Now, before I start deleting things, you can go ahead and take a quick look at the stats. As you can see, we've got 93 mobility with those Class C engines, and we have almost 5,500 cargo base before skills, as well as 9 crew. Now, for the crew, right now I have the computer core and the battle stations that are providing a total of 7 bonus crew, and then 2 from the bridge. If you wanted a little bit more, you could swap out, say, this living quarters with, say, an engineering bay. So, let's go ahead and delete everything, and then let's build the ship. So, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and grab that landing bay. And then I'm going to grab that companionway. On the underside of this companionway, I'm going to come on over here and grab that slim docker. And then on the top side of this, I'm going to come on over here to the habs. And again, because I'm using the Play Stores Yourself mod, this is where I go ahead and add my ladder. Next, right up here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Nova 2x1, and then I'm going to change this to the Armory. Then, I'm going to, on top of this, go ahead and place another ladder. And then on the side here, I'm going to go ahead and place a set of doors. Next up, I'm going to come back in here and start grabbing more Deimos 2x1s. This one here, I'm going to go ahead and make the infirmary. I'm going to place one over here and make it an all-in-one. Place another all-in-one here, place another all-in-one here, and then I'm going to grab the 3x1 and make that the living quarters. Now, The next thing I need to do is I need to pull these off because I need to add more doors. And then over here, I'm going to go ahead and place this here. So we have the door here that is connecting here and here. And then at the front of this, I have a door and a door. So everybody's going to be passing through this all-in-one to get to all of the other ones. On this side, we're going to go ahead and grab that companionway. And then we're going to place another door. And then we're going to come here and grab that Nova Galactic 3x2 mess hall. Alrighty. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come back here. And we are going to grab the Nova Galactic 2x2. And this is the battle stations. And then I'm going to copy this 2x1 on up. Then pull it off to the side, so that way I can come on over here and grab another door. And then I'm going to convert this one on over to that computer core. Now, with the Place Doors Yourself mod, you do not need to place the doors for the landing bay, the docker, or the cockpit. So, because we are using that cabin bridge, we are now done with placing doors. So let's go ahead, come on down, choose that Cabot C4 bridge. And then right up here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Tayo, top B, Captain's Quarters. And there we have it. So that is all of the habitable portions of this ship. So, what's next? Well, let's go ahead. Right behind the armory, we are going to go ahead and place our grav drive. And here I'm using the RD3000 beta grav drive. And then right under this, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a Galleon S204 cargo hold. Then, on each side, I'm going to come on over here to the landing gear. I'm going to grab an NG20 wide. There's going to be 4 of those back here, basically next to the companionway and the cargo hold. And then I'm going to grab another pair of these and put them in the center of this section here. So there's one forward or on the rear part of this all-in-one and on the inside side here. Then I'm going to come on over here to the cargo tab again. And here I just grabbed the Dagama 1020 cargo hold. And you will note with the better flips and snaps mods, I cannot flip it to the other location, so I need to change the variant to choose the side that it is connecting on. Then, to finish out the bottom of the ship, I'm going to come on over here to the structural tab. I'm going to grab some Deimos bellies. So I'm putting one front and back of each of the forward landing gear, and then on the back landing gear here, and then I'm also going to put one more right here. And that is the base of the ship is done. Alright, now let's go on to the next level. And here I'm going to go ahead and grab the engines. And I'm using 3 of the Poseidon DT 2030 engines. Note here that with these engines, we now have connection points on the front, so we do not need these side connections. This is part of the better snaps part of the mod. So I don't need to worry about getting some sort of connection right here to make this function. All right. Next up, I'm going to grab another Deimos belly, and I'm going to flip it and place it right there. Then I'm going to come back on over to the cargo, and I'm going to come down here to the collar 10T cargo holds. And then because I have changed the settings as part of the requirements for the better ships flips and snaps, I can go ahead and place these, and it's not connecting to anything, but rather than needing to worry about that, I can just select the whole ship and get it to adjust so that way it does. Because normally there's no open connection part here, so I could not flip that into place. And you can see that is all the cargo that this ship needs. Alright, since I'm back here anyways, let's go ahead and finish up here. On this side here, I'm going to come on over to my shields, scroll on down until I get to the Assurance SG-1800, and just place that right there. Then I'm going to come on over here to the fuel tanks, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab a single Atlas H30 HE3 tank. This is 400 graduate fuel, which is more than sufficient. Alright, now let's go ahead and pop on over to that structural tab. Alright, so I want to scroll on down here until I get to the Stroud, and I want these Stroud cowlings. And where did it decide to shove that? Here it is. So I'm going to put a Stroud cowling right there, and then I'm going to put one right there. Now, I'm going to take these Stroud cowlings, copy it, pull it down one, and place it right here. So, this is clipping into the Cabot Bridge, but because of this slope here, it is actually fully hidden inside. This is true whether you're using mods or not. If you just are flip glitching this on in, you can do this as well. But you need to have this slope here. If you have a square like the all-in-one or say the Stroud mid-bracer, that is going to clip in visually inside. But doing it like this, there's no clipping. Alright, next up, let's go ahead and we are now going to grab, what is it? Stroud mid-bracer. Okay. And then I'm going to come on over here to my reactors. And then I'm going to scroll on down until I get to that pinch 8Z. Which it decided to stick right here. And I am sticking that pinch 8Z reactor in right in front of the bridge. And then I'm going to be hiding that with another mid-bracer right there. Alrighty. So what is next? Well, right here, I'm going to come back on over to the structural tab. And then I'm going to scroll on down until I can get to the Nova weapon mount. I'm going to put that in right there, so we've got something hidden there. And then I'm going to keep scrolling down until I get to the Stroud nose cap, the 2B. And I'm placing a pair of those right here. If you don't like this clipping, instead of using two 2Bs, you could use 3 nose cap Bs. Alright, now then, next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Stroud caps. So for my Stroud caps, I have one on each of these sides, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a set of caps on over here. So for that, you go ahead and grab this one. I'm going to change the variant again and again, and now there is a vertical variant. So I'm going to go ahead and place that here. I'm going to flip that, and you can see that it slightly overlaps with itself right here. But it does not clip into the ground, so that works. And then I can copy again. There we go. And that is how I got these side caps. And I can go ahead and copy this on up here. Copy this on up here. And then come back on over here and change the variant one more time. There we go. And it gets a little bit fiddly with how it wants to connect there, so you might need to fiddle with that some. Alright, now then, what's next? Well, let's go ahead and come on into the Nova cowlings. I'm going to place one there, change the variant to the rear variant, and then copy that to right there. Then I'm going to grab all of these and flip them like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab myself the Nova wings. And I'm going to put a pair of them on front just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the Nova braking engine and put a pair of them on here. And there you have it. That is all of the structural portions of the ship. So what's left? The weapons. Now, I have not gone ahead and started the UC Vanguard questline in this playthrough yet. So, without using those, I have 3 of the Exterminator 95 MEVs. I have 4 PBO 175s. And then I have 3 obliterated 250 auto alpha beams. And where did I stick them? I stuck the PBO 175s into this central weapon mount, and then I grabbed the 250s, placed 2 of them up front, and then 1 of them on the back here, and then grab the 95s. Let's place this a little bit further back. And you can see everything is kind of underslung or on this kind of central axis here. That being said, there are a plethora of weapon mounts available, so if you wanted to stick them somewhere else, or you have different weapons that you prefer, by all means go ahead and do so. Alright, now then, all that's left is getting those colors back on. And there you have it. Alright, so now that we've seen how this is built, let's go ahead and take the Scarab out for a test drive. Alrighty. So before I head on off to Serpentis, let's pop in and just check these stats out really quick. You can see that with my skills, I've got 8,000 cargo available to me. So this ship is one that's designed for you to be able to go out for extended playtime and not have to worry about coming home. Additionally, it's got enough firepower and shield and armor to see you through basically any engagement. So, let's come on out here to Serpentis. Alright, fully power the engines, and then we'll just see who shows up. Alright, 2 ships, nice and easy. Now with the Class C engines, we are not quite as maneuverable. And we can't boost quite as hard. But we still have that 155 top speed, which is more than basically any of the opposing ships will have. because we have the engine speed skill. Hostile activity. Let's see what's there. Looks like we've got 4 enemy ships here. So we're going to need to be careful. Alright. I'm working on getting a little bit of range. And looks like that's not going to work. Alright, so 4-on-1 was a little bit too much for this ship, which I suppose is to be expected on extreme difficulty and New Game Plus 3. So let's go ahead and do things the right way by getting some distance first. Alright, who is closest? That would be you. Alright, so that's 1 down. Alright, 2 down. Let's go ahead and dive. With just 2 left, we should be able to blast these out fairly quick. There we go. So, again, the usual, if you can kite them and spread them out, then you can take on basically any number of enemies. And that one's not worth running all the way over for. Let's check out this hostile activity. Looks like I've got 3 opponents this time. Alright. Alright. So this time we were able to engage because we went off to the side first, and we were able to keep at least one of them at a far enough distance. Alrighty. And there you have it. Alright. So, yeah, that's not worth going for. Let's go ahead and see if we can get one more engagement. Alright. Alright. And there we have it. Alrighty. So if you've watched this far, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.